friends. Do you know that Bukowski quote where he says he's only interested in things that have soul? Well, I felt like that my whole life. And when I was younger, it was hard to explain. But I've never cared for small talk and superficial things. And so many of the things that people talk about to me would be so commonplace. Like, why are you even wasting your words to rehash those things and pay attention to them? And I've always been interested in depth. Luckily, I started reading when I was 5. I taught myself how to. And I was at the library a lot. And I always loved books, and a lot of times I would prefer them to people. Just because when a person is just saying the same story over and over again, there's nothing to learn. And books are windows to whole other worlds. And then I went and got an English degree just because language is a way to express for us. And I find that the way we express the soul is through art. And that seems to be the best somehow. And it makes me think of that Kurt Vonnegut quote where he says, like go into the arts uh, and practice an art because it's a way to develop your soul. And you can get in touch with your soul through consuming art that somebody else has created. And that is beautiful. But when you yourself start creating, then you're starting to really get into it and get to know your essence. And actually, when I started the Soul, this creative project in a sense, it was that to just get to the bottom of myself. And self portraits have been a really good way for me to get in touch with more of who I am beneath the thoughts and the feelings and just get to the core. And the more I create, the more I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to embodying that essence that is on the inside. And I see it in everything else. Like an animal, for some people, it's like, oh, it's just a dog, it's just a cat, it's just whatever. But when you get in tune with your soul, you realize that you are, like all. And you can see the soul in everything around you and have that deeper connection. And we're all connected, but so many people don't even know it. And it's also very interesting because a lot of people are drawn to me and they're attracted to my physical appearance, but they don't know that they're actually attracted to my essence because their essence wants to wake up. And that was a difficult thing to understand how to deal with, but I'm figuring it out. Uh, and I was like, oh, that's what's happening. They really want to get in touch with themselves. And because I'm in touch with myself, it's like a portal. But it's work because to get in touch with your soul, you have to do a lot of unlearning and a lot of stripping down of layers of conditioning and things that you've been taught and expectations other people have placed on you of who you are. Basically, you have to strip the personality to get to the soul. And that's what I did with my first couple of series of self portraits. Uh, and when the soul starts to express itself, it could be a clash with what you perceive as your personality, and it could surprise you and do things through you that you were like, what? And somehow it doesn't match, but that's how the soul is. The soul is very creative and it loves to express itself and to create new things and to offer new ways of seeing. And it's just so alive always. and wild, in a sense of free, uninhibited, unburdened. How old I am, it really doesn't matter. My soul is very old, I can tell you that. uh, and then when you get deeper, yeah, that's good. Like when you get deeper into the soul and you start to remember past lives and skills that you have had from past lives, and you can see that in others. Like there's some people that are completely clueless of how magical and brilliant their soul is because it's trapped in what we call the ego, that construct of conditioning, in a sense. But through art we can start to slowly peel those layers back and uh, get a glimpse of our own magnificence and the magnificence of everything else, and really feel that connection uh, with the soul of the world. And the soul necessarily is love, and love is the fabric of the universe. And through love, we can connect to any other soul. It doesn't matter if, like the person is dead, for example, their soul is alive. And through the great art that the artists have left behind, we can still connect to their amazing souls. And that is the beauty of the interconnectedness of all, and those reminders that great souls leave behind for others to at least get curious at first, and then maybe do dare to explore what's within them and get in touch with their own magic and the magnificence of everything. So it's really worth it, and I know that in this society, a lot of people don't have time to get into the soul until later in their life, when they're done with certain obligations and things that keep you chained to societal norms. Um, but it's the most interesting journey that one can ever be on, the getting to know of your own soul, and through that you're connected to the soul of everything, and you realize that you're everything. And then expressing those things that you see, and those layers of reality that are available only to you through your unique perception, uh, and sharing them, and through that maybe others remember certain parts, and it causes them to feel something deep down inside, and have that deeper inner knowing for themselves, and a sense of revelation and belonging to something much greater, and being something much greater than your name, age, nationality, race, color of your skin, what you do for a living. Um, yeah, the soul is the most magical thing, honestly. And you can see it in people's eyes, and even if they're not aware, it is there. And I like to wake people up to their soul, because a lot of times they can feel their souls more than they can feel their own souls. And it's really interesting to tap into that knowing, and uh, and see the God in everyone, in essence.